Destiny 2 can be a pretty easy game at times. Just equip a shotgun, hold forward, and profit. However, the shotgun meta was changed up in the Season of the Lost thanks to some new entries, and hopefully this video will help you make your choice on which shotgun you want to farm. The recent nerf to sliding strongly targeted shotguns. Now while sliding, your shotgun spread will be 15% wider than usual. This change potentially impacts which shotguns feel the most consistent while sliding for the deepest one-hit kills. Besides the slide nerf, we've also had many completely new shotguns added this season. Perhaps the most unique one is the Fractethyst. And before you ask, yes, I did practice that pronunciation, hopefully I got it somewhat right. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to call it the Fractal to prevent my tongue from getting tied into a knot. Back on track. The Fractal is a very unique shotgun since it's now the only non-sunset precision frame spread shotgun in the Kinetic slot. Note that I said Kinetic slot since the Fractal actually has the stasis element but doesn't occupy the energy slot like other energy weapons. In PvP, this doesn't mean anything for now, and maybe that's a good thing. Its most direct competition in the Kinetic slot is the Riiswalker shotgun from the Iron Banner, which has been one of the best shotguns in the game ever since it was introduced. So why the Riiswalker and the Fractal? Well, these are the only two pellet shotguns in the Kinetic slot that can roll with Quickdraw, an elite perk on shotguns. So I decided that today I would review the Fractal and also do a comparison with the Riiswalker so that you can know which one you should be running in the Crucible and which one's worth farming. Let's set one thing straight. The Riiswalker occupies the lightweight frame, meaning that it has a naturally tighter pellet spread, but it requires you to land a full 11 out of 12 pellets to secure a one-shot kill. This makes having precise aim even more important to land those kills in close quarters. The lightweight frame also slightly buffs your movement speed and grants you a plus 20 mobility stat while equipped, which can be especially helpful for hunters trying to get their dodge back faster. A Fractal, on the other hand, occupies the precision frame, more specifically the pellet shotgun precision frame, and that's not to be confused with slug shotguns that are also called precision frames. Yeah, kind of confusing. These don't feature quite as tight of a pellet spread as the lightweight frames, but the trade-off is that they only require you to land 10 out of your 12 pellets, which makes them a lot more forgiving in close quarter battles. The fact that the Fractal has a slightly wider cone angle but requires less pellets to kill is going to be crucial for our verdict in which of these two shotguns is better, so make sure to keep that in mind. I think that the first thing we should talk about are the Fractal's perks, so let's take a look at the left column first. As I mentioned earlier, shotguns recently got a nerf to their performance while sliding. For this reason, you might be tempted to go for Slide Shot. At face value, getting a boost while sliding should help to mitigate that nerf, right? Well, not really. You have to understand that the pellet spread on a shotgun is the most crucial factor when determining the shotgun's one-hit kill range. The 20 range boost from Slide Shot won't do much for you to mitigate the worst one-hit kill range while sliding. This is because the main issue is the wider cone angle, not the lack of range. If you want to put your Destiny super nerd hat on with me, you can make an argument that the extra range from Slide Shot does push out the effective range of the aim assist cone a little bit further, which is technically true, but from our testing it seems to be more or less insignificant compared to the extreme 15% increase to the pellet spread from sliding. Instead, I think that Quickdraw here is by far the strongest perk. Since Bungie has now fixed the Quickdraw glitch, building for handling to pull your shotgun out faster is much more important than it ever has been. Quickdraw allows you a bit more leniency to keep getting damage in with your primary weapon before swapping to the shotgun, and the improved handling speed may just save your life over and over again. The best alternatives to Quickdraw would be either full auto to slightly boost the shotgun's rate of fire, or the new perk this season, Ensemble, which will provide a handling boost when you're next to your teammates. Lead from Gold and Dual Loader are not so great for PvP, so we're better to avoid those. Now for the part that makes this shotgun really special. Fractal is the only non-sunset precision pellet shotgun with access to Quickdraw in the left slot and Opening Shot in the right slot. Opening Shot gives your pellets a massive boost to their magnetism in the form of a bonus to range, aim assist, and accuracy. This will directly boost your consistency in one-shot kill range. Seriously, I can't emphasize enough how amazing Opening Shot is on a shotgun. It's truly an S tier perk. Together with the fast draw time from Quickdraw, if you happen to get this combo, you're going to have an elite shotgun in your hands. While Opening Shot clearly is a great perk, something like Harmony is really interesting here too. Getting a kill with your primary weapon will give you a window of about 5 seconds to draw your shotgun and then receive a 20% damage boost for 7 seconds. I really love what they're doing with this perk and how it encourages you to use both of your weapons in your loadout, though given the choice, I think you generally get more value out of Opening Shot. As for the other perks, Adagio is interesting because the extra bonus damage makes it potentially more forgiving, but that comes at a great cost with the increased rate of fire. Thresh is okay for getting your super faster, but I prefer consistency perks over this one. Adrenaline Junkie is interesting, but just not going to come into play all that often unless you have a very specific grenades focused build. And the extra damage from Trench Barrel can be situationally useful, but ideally the melee should be cleaning up the kill, but not really initiating it. Again, I'd personally go for consistency perks like Opening Shot over any of these options. Before we get into the direct comparison, let's quickly cover the Riiswalker's perks. I do have a more in-depth review of the Riiswalker in the description if you'd like a more thorough perk overview. The left column gets Quickdraw, Surplus, and even Hipfire Grip, and the right column gets Iron Reach, Demolitionist, and Swashbuckler. These are all excellent choices. Though to give it the best chance at a deep one-shot kill, we're going to be testing a roll with near max range and Iron Reach. On both shotguns, I believe you should go for a range masterwork, full choke, and either accurized rounds or assault mag. More handling is always a good choice too, especially if you're missing quick draw. In any case, I would avoid stability, which basically does nothing for you with a shotgun, and reload speed is not that great either, especially since holster mods now exist. Since it's still early in the season, we don't yet have the god roll Fractethyst, and the rolls that I've had access to aren't ideal, but they're still very good. Here's both the Fractal and the Riiswalker that we use for our testing. As you can see, we're lacking full choke in both cases, so it's mostly a fair comparison. The first thing I was interested in was the one-hit kill range in ideal circumstances, so when you're standing still just shooting at a stationary target. In this category, the Fractal has a very slight edge over the Riiswalker, and I think the main reason for that is thanks to the perk Opening Shot. Fractal manages to secure a kill at just around 7 meters, whereas the Riiswalker comes in just a bit shorter, around 6 to 6.5 meters. Obviously, this depends on how lucky you get with the pellet spread, since the Riiswalker requires one more pellet to get the kill, but the ranges I mentioned are where I felt like the shotguns could snag you a one-shot kill fairly consistently. The next thing that was interesting to me was the 2-shot range, which is becoming a much more important factor to keep in mind thanks to all of the recent shotgun nerfs. I was thinking that since the Fractal has more damage output and a higher base range, it would probably have a better time killing in 2 shots. Though surprisingly, I found that it's actually the Riiswalker that has the advantage in the 2-tap duel. The numbers we found in testing were around 10.5 meters for a 2-tap on the Riiswalker and about 9.5 meters for the 2-tap range on the Fractal. At the longer ranges, the tighter pellet spread of the Riiswalker lets it do more damage since it's landing more hits. The wider cone of the Fractal just makes it whiff a bit too many pellets. We also tested the performance of these 2 shotguns while sliding. During our experiment, we found some really interesting and potentially disturbing information for shotgun mains. All of the shotguns we tested failed to secure a one-shot kill while sliding even at 6 meters. Yes, even a god roll 5 out of 5 Astral Horizon from Trials couldn't get a kill at 6 meters during a slide. However, doing the test at 6 meters, we also found that the Riiswalker seemed to deal the best damage the most consistently. Based on this finding, it seems that the Riiswalker is potentially hurt the least by the slide nerf. This also makes sense on paper, since the 15% spread penalty would have less of an overall impact to shotguns with a naturally tighter pellet spread. So let's summarize. The Fractal seems to be a little bit better at landing those slightly deeper one-hit kills, and is more consistent up close, but the Riiswalker deals slightly more damage at range, and performs slightly better during a slide. Also, the lightweight frame on the Riiswalker gives you a nice mobility and movement buff. Unfortunately, the Riiswalker is very difficult to farm. It only drops from the Iron Banner, which is a Crucible event which comes around about once a month, and even if you play it every single second that it's around, there's a decent chance that you'll just never get your god roll. On the other hand, the Fractal is very easy to farm. Just by playing the game, you can earn both the seasonal currency as well as Umbral Engrams, which you can then focus to get a 50% chance at the Fractal. And if you pay a little bit more of the focusing material, you can get an extra selectable perk on your Fractal as well. So if I had to suggest just one of them to farm for, I would definitely say the Fractal, since it simply respects your time quite a bit more. But which one is actually better? Well, that's hard to say. For me personally, I think the improved consistency up close is really important. This is thanks to the really lenient pellet requirement, with the Fractal only requiring 10 pellets instead of 11 for the kill. When I fire my shotgun up close, I want it to deliver a kill consistently even if I'm slightly off my target. In the heat of a battle, when people are jumping and sliding and lagging around, I find I often don't have enough time to perfectly line up my shot, and I want my shotgun to kill quickly and easily. But there's also a huge benefit to the higher range damage output and the mobility from the Riiswalker as well. If you want to deal the majority of your damage with a primary weapon and then only swap to your shotgun to finish off the kill, then the Riiswalker may be the better choice for you. My recommendation is to think about how much playtime you actually have and how lucky you tend to be. If you don't have that much time to be playing Destiny, the Fractal will definitely respect your time more than grinding for the Riiswalker, so I would go for that one. The Riiswalker's advantages are in the end very small and pretty situational. If you play a lot of Destiny, however, you should get both options and try them out. Your playstyle will determine which one suits you better. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next one. Let me know in the comments which head-to-head comparison would you like to see next. And if you want a borderline busted weapon to pair with either of these shotguns, check out my video on the new Vex Mythiclast. It's the one on the top right of your screen and also linked in the description.